From the Transformers Studio Series, it is Air Commander Starscream. Well, as he will eventually be known, because this is from Transformers 1. Yes, this is a deluxe-sized version of Starscream as he appeared in the Transformers 1 movie, which came out quite some time ago, and we're finally getting this. Come on, Hasbro. Sheesh. Stuff for, other movies you put out pretty quickly, yet now we gotta wait so long for this. Still, I'm very excited because he looks really cool. And we're gonna go over him bit by bit. Now, if you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle. Welcome aboard. And if you've been watching for a while, thanks so much for coming back. That's awesome. Now, before I go any further, I do want to thank our sponsor for this video, Toy Hacks. And Toy Hacks makes some amazing reproduction stickers and brand new stickers. Like the brand new stickers you can check out over here, right on Vector Prime. Yes, who was voiced by Rhinox. Well, the guy who voiced Rhinox in Beast Wars also. Anyway, but very cool stickers, and you can also replace the stickers on your G1s. You can do so much. They also have backdrops and an armory for weaponry, so check them out at toyhacks.com. All right, let's get into Starscream. This is going to be fun because we actually saw how his voice got so high-pitched, which is kind of cool. So without further ado, well, here's a little ado. Be right back. All right, so the box looks very nice. And again, thank goodness they went back to Windows, though. Apparently people are still opening up packages, buying them, bringing them home, swapping out figures, and returning them to the store. Come on, people. Seriously, not cool. Unless you put something more valuable than the one you took, then kind of cool. But if you look in here on the back, you can see his robot mode and his Cybertronian jet mode. And yeah, and his malicious face over here. So, time to break this mother out of his box, the mother box, something like that. Luckily I have a knife, but I'm gonna fold that up because on occasion I have feline friends, or should I say feline bosses that show up. But taking him out, his instructions aren't right over here, as did his shitty piece of paper. Everyone's like, you're throwing out something important. No, I'm not. That is like basically telling you not to do stupid things like give this to a 2-year-old and let him eat it. But there he is on his cardboard with, again, Autobot paper. First of all, at this point, he's not even a Decepticon. The Autobots don't even exist yet you give him Autobot paper. And even if you do consider this right after everything happened and he's now a Decepticon, why Autobot paper? Come on. I mean, he did cosplay as Optimus Prime once, but let's see what's in here. We've got a thing, a couple other things, and a third thing. I'm gonna close up on them so you can see them better in just a moment. The magic. So this appears to be some kind of weapon. I don't know what kind of weapon, but it's blue. This looks like maybe it goes on him like almost a rudder. I don't know. I don't think it's a weapon, but you never know. And these look like his arm guns, but kind of short. I guess he still hasn't reached puberty at this point. It gets bigger, but let's snip him off this cardboard restraining system. Even had this nice piece of plastic to protect his chest. And so there he is, standing tall, while I get this plastic crap off my table. All right, those we might need. So let's bring over the turntable of doom so we can take a look at him. And I actually do want to look at the instructions to see where these things plug in to him in his robot mode. So apparently these two things are weapons, and this one actually gets held, kind of looks like a Star Trek phaser. I'm gonna back up a little bit here so you can see a little bit better. Whereas this is more like a Klingon disruptor. So he's got those guns, but wait, there's more. Because you can put his arm guns, attach them to his shoulder. Well, guns to his shoulders. But wait, there's more. Because you can take these two weapons and put them together into a bigger weapon that looks, I guess, okay. I don't know. I don't think it looks that intimidating. Now I'm looking and I'm not seeing anywhere to store the weapons in his robot mode that's not in his hands, unless you can plug them into maybe his back, like so. It is not shown in the instructions, but there you go. Some place to put them if you want him to just be like pointing his arm guns or, raising his fist and saying, I am leader. Yeah, not so much. Let's give him a nice spin on the turntable of doom, or the lazy Susan of loquaciousness, because he talks a lot. I don't know. But I have to say, overall, he looks pretty cool, very reminiscent of G1 Starscream as he might have looked prior to being made into an Earth mode. It's got the blue forearms, the, standard Seeker face. He looks grim, and his feet definitely remind me of, from the front, the G1 version. Now, the heels are kind of weird. It's almost like he's wearing high heels. So, we've had suspicions about Starscream. Maybe, in addition to cross-dressing into Autobots, you figure it out. But yeah, he looks like a very cool-looking figure. Almost as cool as the Blockies one. Okay, maybe he's more cool because he can transform, but the Blockies one looks really good. All right, I'm gonna take this off his back and let's go over some poseability. But before we even do that, I'm just gonna measure him from his head to his feet, about 5.5 inches. If you go from the top of his wings, he's about 5 3/4 inches, so decent size. But as far as the poseability, well, let's see here first of all. Does he have ankle swivels? And looking at his ankles, I am not seeing any mechanism for ankle swivels. So he actually does not have the ankle swivels. You can still put him in a pretty wide stance because he's got these, I imagine they're thrusters on the back, his heels, and they keep him pretty stable. But I'm not seeing ankle swivels on a modern Transformer. But the most important thing, of course, can he do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme? And I am suspecting that he almost can. I mean, he can do a split, but it's not quite all the way 90 degrees. Now, maybe because of the swivel, I might be able to configure him into that if I kind of deform his hips a little. There you go. That's even more than a regular Jean-Claude Van Damme. So you can, but you have to basically swivel his upper legs into an incorrect direction. If you leave them the way they should be, can't do it. Yeah, can't do it. All right. Kicking. He can kick really high. He's like a friggin' rocket. Back, not so much. He runs into that stuff. Sidekick. Again, if you have his upper legs positioned the way they're supposed to be, he can't quite do a split, but he could still do a pretty high kick. He bends at the knee, and it's actually more than 90 degrees, so that's nice. He's got this nice little spike here, so he can scrape Autobot nuts right off their crotch plates. Swiveling. He's got a swivel. It is at the upper leg, so that is how I was able to get him into that Jean-Claude Van Damme position. Twisting at the waist. Let's see. Does not appear to be any twisting at the waist. So the thing is, with this piece here, his cockpit, there's no joint there. I mean, even if I lift it up, yeah, there is no twisting at the waist, which is a bit disappointing. And Honor is here. See, I said sometimes my feline bosses show up, and here is one of them. So that is a little disappointing, no twisting at the waist. The arms, tail right in the eye, can go up, and the wings can move back. So if you angle it a little bit, you can go all the way around. But yeah, you have to play around with the angles of the wings. Right, Honor? That's right. He does bend at the elbow, and again, that's more than 90 degrees. He does have a swivel. Just be careful if you have the shoulder gun in there, because you can rub up against that. His arms go out to the side in various configurations, and it's probably part of the transformation, but this piece of his upper arm moves. So it's possible that, it'd be an interesting battle configuration to bring those up into shoulder guns. I kind of like that. Little extra capability for him. His head turns all the way around, and you can pull it back a little bit so he's looking up. You can push it forward so he's looking slightly down. You can tilt it a little bit from side to side. So still overall the poseability without the twisting at the waist, that is a little disappointing. And no ankle swivels is kind of puzzling, but he still looks cool. And again, you can put him in a decently wide stance. Spin on the turntable of doom, and hey, he obeys the laws of physics. So turning him more slowly on the turntable of doom so you can see all the angles. Well, he looks pretty cool. Now, part of him that's reminiscent of the G1 is also these pieces back here, but they're much further back. They're not next to his head. So it's a nod to that, or perhaps it's part of the design, and they're like, hey, we can kind of nod to that. But yeah, not exactly, but again, a good Cybertronian form of Starscream. Unlike the Fire in the Sky episode where they showed him millions of years ago flying around as an Earth-style fighter jet to get F-15. Weird, or laziness. All right, time to transform him. So as you can see, Sky has joined me for the unveiling of the vehicle mode of Starscream, because she's like Starscream and wants to overthrow me as ruler of my house, which she's already done because, you know, they're the bosses. They just think I'm a big weird cat. Anyway, there is Starscream in his vehicle mode, and I will say he looks very cool. He looks kind of like the Tetra Jets from the first episode, right, Sky? Even more so perhaps than the Siege versions, which look more like Colonial Vipers. I will say one pain in the ass is getting this gun, because you basically have these weird plugs that go into his shoulder thingies, and you gotta line it up, and yeah, it's a pain in the ass to close. I also had a little bit of trouble getting these to pop in and stay, but figured it out, right, Sky? We got it done. We got it in. It's like 30 steps, which for a deluxe seems a little bit excessive, but he does make a very cool looking jet. As I suspected, one of his weapons goes here as part of his assembly. The other weapon attaches here, and the two shoulder guns attach here. And yeah, lining it up and swinging the assembly together and getting it to stay. A little bit of a challenge. Maybe the next time I do it, it'll be easier. But there you go. I do like the nod to the original More Than Meets the Eye versions of the Seekers. And yeah, great version of Starscream. I'm liking him. Now in his jet mode from nose till he's a little over 5 3/4 inches. So he's got his feet fold up, but do not block his jets, which are his heels. So a nice rendition. Again, would have been nicer if we'd gotten it a bit sooner, but c'est la vie, what can you do? They make things when they make things. So I think it's a fun version of our favorite Air Commander. And if you're having fun, by all means, feel free to subscribe to the channel. That would be totally awesome. And while you're mulling over this guy, who I just popped his wing out, whoops, get back in there. But while you're mulling over this guy, to which I will put a link in the description, you might want to check out this video over here, which is actually Sentinel Prime from TF1 Studio Series. You know, they don't get along. And send me $1 million. And we'll see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.